This project includes audio narration. Take a moment to confirm the audio is working properly on the device you are using and that your headphones or speakers are functioning well. Be sure the volume is at a comfortable level before you begin. Serving as an evaluator can be one of the most intimidating parts of being a Toastmaster. Even members who have been evaluated many times give much thought to their comments and scores when they evaluate their peers. Hi, I'm Melissa Resnick-Gonzalez. I've been a Toastmaster for 7 years and a club mentor specializing in speech evaluations for 3. Today, we'll be working together to learn about evaluations in the Toastmasters Pathways learning experience. This tutorial will give you an opportunity to review each section of a Pathways evaluation resource, practice evaluating a speech using the actual tools you will use in Pathways, and compare your evaluation scores and comments with mine. Please type your name in the box. I would like to know who you are and introduce you to the Toastmaster of the day before we evaluate a speech. It's nice to meet you. Welcome to Bright and Early Toastmasters. Today, we will be evaluating a speech by Kathy Jimenez. She is presenting her researching and presenting speech to the club and is looking forward to feedback that will help her build her skills. Before we can evaluate Kathy's speech, we need to review a Pathways evaluation resource to learn how it can be used to best support Kathy. Evaluations are subjective. Each evaluator brings their own expertise and understanding to the process. When completing a Pathways evaluation, skills are scored separately. Some skills are specific to the project, and others are important for effective public speaking, regardless of the subject. Along with the scores, there is room for you to add comments to each section. This way, you can easily express your individuality as an evaluator. Let's look at an evaluation resource together. Each evaluation resource has 3 pages. This is page 1. The top section gives you the information you need about the speaker and their speech. This section includes the purpose of the speech and often a description of the work a member did that you will not see in the club meeting. This work might be journaling, attendance at an outside event, or volunteer work. The Pathways projects are built to encourage members to expand their learning into many areas. You will also find a space here for general comments about the speech. You can add comments like, "I liked your topic. I didn't know anything about color blocking before today. Your gestures have really improved over your last speech. I noticed that you used your hands more effectively. I would really like to see you look around and make eye contact with more audience members. You might consider selecting audience members before you speak." Let's look at page 2. This page includes the scored portion of the evaluation. Every competency is scored on the same scale, from 5 to 1. 5 is exemplary. The member is exemplary in this area of evaluation or the competency. 4 is excels. The member excels in this area of evaluation or the competency. 3 is accomplished. The member has accomplished this competency. 2 is emerging. The member's accomplishment in this competency is emerging. 1 is developing. The member's accomplishment in this competency is developing. Notice that a score of 3 is accomplished. To receive a score of 5 or exemplary, a member needs to be, well, exemplary. That means there is no room for improvement. A 3 on the Pathways Evaluation Resource Scale is a great score. The final page, page 3, is all about providing speakers and evaluators a common language for understanding the scores for an individual competency. Let's take a closer look at the first competency, clarity. Every speaker strives to be clear when they present. An accomplished speaker will score a 3. Spoken language is clear and easily understood. A member who receives this score has met the goal of the competency. Some members are particularly talented speakers. These members may do more than communicate clearly and be easily understood. They may be a pleasure to listen to, or even so accomplished when they speak, they don't fumble over a single word and never use fillers. Members like this will score a 4 or 5 on the Pathways scale. A member who is struggling to communicate well will score a 1 or a 2. These members may have a tendency to mumble. They may use so many filler words that it's difficult to follow the content of their speech. The goal of delivering a score of 1 or 2 is to encourage members to improve, while honestly addressing areas that are in need of development. That is a lot of information to take in. Before we join the Toastmasters meeting and watch Kathy's speech, take a few minutes to review the evaluation resource on your own. It always helps me to read through each criteria and review the purpose of the speech. If you would like to review the meaning of each score, select Scores. Once you have completed your review and you feel ready to watch and listen to Kathy's speech, select Get Started. Kathy joined a club to improve her leadership and communication skills. She wants to be a better speaker to help her advance at work. She faced some challenges in her first 2 speeches. Her evaluators expressed that Kathy tends to present in a low, even voice that causes her to sound monotone. Kathy and her mentor have identified this issue as an area for improvement as she develops her speaking skills. At her mentor's suggestion, Kathy has asked that we pay close attention to her vocal variety during her speech today. I have a few suggestions to help you with your evaluation. We only have time to watch a part of Kathy's speech. Complete your evaluation based on what you see and hear. When you want to make a comment or post a score, select any page of the evaluation on the screen and Kathy will pause. Once you have added what you want to add, close the page. Kathy will resume her speech. Your work will be saved. Our goal is to recognize what Kathy does well and help her to improve by providing her with supportive, constructive feedback. Once you've watched Kathy's speech and completed the evaluation, select Submit to compare your scores to mine. Are you ready? If you need more time, select Review, and you will return to the evaluation resource so you can read through it again. If you're ready, select Let's Evaluate.
Kathy is completing her Level 1 project, Research and Present a Topic, with her speech, Ways to Improve Your Memory.
Have you ever been in a conversation with someone and realized you don't remember his name? When a friend joins the conversation, you'd like to introduce them to each other, but you can't. You can avoid this awkward situation by learning ways to improve your memory. There are many ways to remember names and other information. You can associate a name with an image. For example, if you make a new acquaintance named Don, you can imagine the sun rising behind his back. When you first meet someone, incorporate the person's name into your greeting so that you say it aloud. It's a pleasure to meet you, Hassan. That way you can confirm the name and the pronunciation. Rhymes and alliteration are also effective ways to remember information. That is why we are able to remember the words to the rhymes and songs we learned as children. Don't make excuses such as, I have a bad memory, or I can never remember some things. Remembering a person's name is a sign of respect, and that helps build solid personal and professional relationships.
Thanks, Kathy. Kathy is completing her level 1 project. Research and present a topic. With her...
Thank you for completing this evaluation for Kathy. I'm eager to share my scores with you and see how they compare. Before we move on, be sure you made notes about Kathy's vocal variety. She asked us to listen for that specifically today. If you want to add anything to your evaluation, select Back. Once we begin comparing...
Kathy is completing her level 1 project. Research and present a topic. With her speech, ways to improve your memory.
Have you ever been in a conversation with someone and realized you don't remember his name? When a friend joins the conversation, you'd like to introduce them to each other, but you can't. You can avoid this awkward situation by learning ways to improve your memory. There are many ways to remember names and other information. You can associate a name with an image. For example, if you make a new acquaintance named Don, you can imagine the sun rising behind his back. When you first meet someone, incorporate the person's name into your greeting so that you say it aloud. It's a pleasure to meet you, Hassan. That way you can confirm the name and the pronunciation. Rhymes and alliteration are also effective ways to remember information. That is why we are able to remember the words to the rhymes and songs we learned as children. Don't make excuses such as, I have a bad memory, or I can never remember some things. Remembering a person's name is a sign of respect, and that helps build solid personal and professional relationships.
Thanks, Kathy.
Scores, you won't be able to make changes to your evaluation. When you are ready, select Compare Scores. These are my comments on Kathy's clarity. Kathy spoke clearly during her speech and was easy to understand. Words were pronounced accurately. She met the criteria. However, she did not go above and beyond to demonstrate exemplary clarity when she spoke. These are my comments on Kathy's vocal variety. While Kathy's volume was generally loud enough throughout her speech, she did not use other vocal techniques such as tone and speed. Her speed remained the same throughout, and in my opinion, her tone was flat. These are my comments on Kathy's eye contact. Kathy made little to no eye contact with her audience members. This is a skill she may want to work to improve in her future speeches. These are my comments on Kathy's gestures. Kathy did not make a point to use gestures to enhance her speech. When she did move around, her body language was small and nervous. She leaned on the lectern and fidgeted with her hair. These are my comments on Kathy's audience awareness. Audience members were disengaged at different points of Kathy's speech. This was obvious to me as an evaluator and an audience member. Kathy did not seem to notice or adjust her delivery to accommodate. Instead, she looked at the floor or her notes. These are my comments on Kathy's comfort level. Kathy seemed very uncomfortable while giving her speech. Her body language was inward-focused, she made little eye contact, and she was monotone. She did seem a bit more comfortable toward the end of her speech, which is why I scored this section a 2. These are my comments on Kathy's interest. Though Kathy's delivery wasn't highly interesting, the content of her speech was well-constructed and engaging. By improving her vocal variety, eye contact, gestures, and audience awareness, she can increase audience engagement. My thoughts on Kathy's research. Kathy's speech appeared to be researched. The content seems factually based. However, Kathy didn't offer any sources. If she had, she would have scored at least a 3. How did our scores compare? You may not agree with mine, and that's okay. If you are comfortable with your evaluation and can easily discuss why you chose the scores you selected, you're ready to evaluate. With the resource complete, your next job is to present an overview of your evaluation to the club in a 2 to 3 minute speech. For a few tips on creating your evaluation speech before we move on, select Tips. When you are ready to practice, select Continue. Do construct a speech with an introduction, body, and conclusion. Do use I statements. Do stay positive, even when giving constructive feedback. Do highlight what the speaker did well. Do give specific examples to support your points. Do avoid reading Kathy's scores aloud in your evaluation. Scores are meant to be private. Do speak directly to the audience. Though written comments inform your verbal evaluation, avoid reading them word for word. Welcome to the final step in your evaluation practice. We've created this timer to help you pace your evaluation speech. You may choose to practice several times until the 2 to 3 minute time frame feels natural. If you can, record your evaluation speech practice using your computer's webcam or any device that works for you. If you finish before the time ends, select Stop below and calculate your total speaking time. Was your speech between 2 and 3 minutes? If not, try again. Watch your evaluation speech recording. Did you present a speech between 2 and 3 minutes long? Present a speech with an introduction, body, and conclusion? Use I statements? Keep Kathy's scores private? Give Kathy the specific feedback she sought about her vocal variety? Highlight Kathy's achievements? Stay positive while giving Kathy constructive feedback. Great job! You're on your way to becoming an excellent evaluator. Keep practicing your technique by consistently serving as an evaluator. Remember, you can always consult the evaluation section of the Navigator to review how to both give and receive an effective evaluation. It takes time and practice to become an effective evaluator. Review the evaluation section of the Navigator to refresh what you know about giving and receiving an effective evaluation. In Toastmasters, you learn by doing. Serve as the evaluator at club meetings to improve your skills. Many members believe the role of the evaluator is the most challenging to fulfill. The effective evaluators you watch at club meetings are strong because they devoted time to improving their skills. Keep practicing. Thank you for learning about Pathways evaluations with me. I enjoyed our time together and encourage you to return to this tutorial anytime you want to review the process of evaluating speeches in Pathways. Thank you for learning about Pathways evaluations with me. I enjoyed our time together and encourage you to return to this tutorial anytime you want to review the process of evaluating speeches in Pathways.
I was spellbound as I watched the sheriff who had just been shot slide back open that heavy metal door, stagger forward a couple of steps, look deep into the camera and say, I before E except after C. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, I was in the 6th grade in Mrs. Montgomery's class watching an educational video where a sheriff was teaching us about writing while a bad guy named Bad English was shooting at him. It was on a film projector because we were technology challenged in my school. And as I watched that film, all of a sudden something started looking strange. The film slowed down. When it picked back up, it made a sound like, and it looked like it was blinking. Then the sheriff was talking to us from the side of the screen. The blinking started again with a loud noise. Everything went blank. I ran to the front and I turned off the projector. I opened it up. Something smelled like it was burning. Mrs. Montgomery, I said, can I try to fix this? After school, she said. An hour after the final bell rang, I had disassembled the entire projector all over the floor. I was beginning to put it back together when the librarian came strolling through. What are you doing? She almost screamed at me. Who told you you could do this? I did, said Mrs. Montgomery. The librarian, though, zeroed in on me. This is school property, and it better work when you get it all back together again. If it doesn't work, your parents are going to have to pay for that. Now, my parents did not have a lot of money. If I went home and told them they had to replace a projector at school, I would have been better off in the hands of that bad guy, Bad English. And so, with focused energy, I started putting the projector back together. After 2 hours, it was whole. And Mrs. Montgomery said, let's try it. I reached up and I flipped the on switch. And there, out in front of us, projected onto the screen in all of its glory, was nothing. Nothing. The projector was dead. My failure had not killed me. And yours will not kill you. What was it that Mrs. Montgomery said? The victory is not in the result. The victory is in the try. Ever since then, I have walked through life with a little librarian Landon sitting on this shoulder and a Mrs. Montgomery sitting on this shoulder. When I tried and gave my very first speech, which was a train wreck, Mrs. Landon told me, you should never try that again. But Mrs. Montgomery reminded me that the failure had taught me lessons that could be a springboard to future success. And she was right. But her words ring even more true for you. And let me tell you why I know this. For years, Toastmasters has been the place where leaders are made. You are here in some way to increase your leadership skill. And this world desperately needs leaders who will create fertile soil for innovation to grow. Toastmasters is a great example. When COVID hit this year, they could have said, no, we're just going to cancel the contest, we'll cancel the convention, and we'll pick it up again next year. But instead, they decided to try something new, this virtual experience. And yes, there have been glitches, but that's what innovation is like. Glitches happen. And the lessons that they have learned take us miles beyond those organizations that just canceled. If you want to lead people to fix persistent problems, someday, somewhere, somebody is going to have to try something new. And you as the leader have the opportunity to encourage that effort that might fail, for a chance to find the future. The victory is in the try. Be a Montgomery leader. Encourage risk. Try new things. The victory is not in the result, my friends. The victory is in the try.